Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending where you are joining us from the world. And welcome to another Decrypting Crypto live stream, where we bring you all the latest news and everything that's happening in the crypto and digital asset space. And then we break it down so that it becomes easy to understand for anybody who's new to the space. My name is Wasim, one of the hosts. We've also got Michael and Matt here with us today. Welcome, Michael.
Yes, welcome guys. Pleased to be back for our fourth show. So excited about that. And we've got some good content today, mate. So we might jump into it. I'm going to throw over to you for the news highlights.
Thank you, Michael. So in the first, in our first highlight today, we're looking at. Can we just get it up on the screen, please, Michael? We're going to get the first thing we're looking at is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki stresses to save Bitcoin, gold, and guns as global disaster is unfolding. So this is in response to the current situation in the light of the Davos, Switzerland event of the International Money Fund. And what he's saying is we are facing one of the biggest global financial crises since World War II. In this article, he speaks about and he advises people to save silver, gold, Bitcoin, food, guns, and bullets. So what we're seeing is we're definitely, and the reason why he's been talking about this for a while is because what we're seeing right now is we're living in unprecedented times. You know, many of the world leaders are worried about what is coming. We have a war in Europe that is affecting some of the world's main food producers. You know, the sanctions on Russia blocking the ports in Ukraine. These are all causing massive backlogs of food that is not able to go out to the world, which can actually rot. We also have what's happening in the US with the drought, which is also reducing crop yields. And this is all a major warning signs for a lot of the world leaders about what's going to happen in the next 3 months and over 2 years. And this is why Robert Kiyosaki is saying we need to save our Bitcoin, our gold, our silver, our food, our money, and our guns and our bullets. Obviously, we can't do that here in Australia, but that's what he's talking about. The next article that we're going to look at is billionaire Ray Dalio acknowledges his portfolio includes a tiny percentage of Bitcoin. Now, Ray Dalio used to be a Bitcoin critic or a Bitcoin skeptic, I should say. And recently, during an interview on CNBC's Squawk Box on May the 24th, he said that Bitcoin has made tremendous achievements over the last decade. And he stresses that it's an emerging technology as alternative to gold and other assets. So what he also speaks about is that Bitcoin has gained so much traction and became a new form of money that might replace fiat currencies. He insinuated that Bitcoin will be positioned to serve both as a medium of exchange as well as a store of value. This is just more news and more bullish news showing that more and more people are seeing the value of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. More and more people start to adopt it, start to invest in it. And as more and more of these hedge funds, like he runs a massive hedge fund. If he starts to put in even a small percentage of his hedge fund into Bitcoin and other hedge funds around the world do that, even if they do only 5%, we're going to see massive, massive upside in the price of Bitcoin. Over to you, Michael.
Thanks, mate. So next one is around the Australian Prime Minister and crypto regulation. So there are many market observers that believe that the new Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, should be prioritising things like climate change, the rise of cost of living, and regulation of cryptocurrencies as some of the most important policy concerns the next few months. On May 12, if you remember, the first cryptocurrency exchange traded fund or ETF went trading. So many observers believe that's a key turning point in the market for digital assets in Australia, if not internationally. So as you guys will probably know, if you don't, you're learning that blockchain is designed around decentralization. So you don't need to rely on any central government or any other type of organization or authority. However, positive regulation is actually required for mass adoption. And Australia really has a great opportunity to be an adopter of crypto and digital assets. So whether Anthony Albanese takes advantage of that or not is yet to be seen, but the opportunity is definitely there. The next one is the institutional investors are accumulating Cardano and Polkadot as they're coming out of a little bit of Bitcoin. So they've been seen de-risking a little bit from Bitcoin and going a little bit more into Cardano and Polkadot. And this has come from the latest digital asset fund flows weekly report, where CoinShares found that BTC suffered 154 million outflows, and there was inflows of around 141 million into these two coins. So look, institutional investors are finally starting to wake up to the potential of blockchain technology. And if you're following the market and your portfolio is probably down, I mean, some of these altcoins are down 70 to 80% or more since the all-time highs. Traditionally, alts will lose maybe 90, 95% in a bear market. So we're not that far away from the bottom if you look at it from that angle. So, and it is almost impossible to time the bottoms, guys. So it's all about accumulating the right coins. And we've got an event coming up that'll help you with that, which we'll talk about shortly. So moving on to the Twitter highlights.
Thank you, Michael. So CZ has tweeted HODL, hold on to dear life. So if you don't know who CZ is, he's the founder of Binance, which is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges. So the reason why he's talking about hodling and holding on to dear life, which is a crypto acronym or crypto slang that we use, because what we understand in crypto is when you hold something, when you hold onto crypto for long enough, you are going to be in profit. And because, as Michael said, we are in a bear market right now, traditionally, this is where you can create generational wealth. You know, CZ is a perfect example. He sold his house and sold everything that he owns back in 2017 and went 100% in crypto. Even to today, even though he's a crypto billionaire, he still lives in hotels because he has all his wealth and all his assets in crypto. Now, we're not saying that for everybody to go out and do that. That's the decision he made. But this shows the conviction that he has and the reward that he's been able to achieve by following this simple strategy, which is something that, as Michael said, you know, we've got an event coming up where we're going to be speaking about we're going to be exploring what are some of the tokens that are perfect for hodling over the next 3 to 5 years. Next one, we have again Michael Saylor, one of my favorite Bitcoin maximalists. Bitcoin is harder, smarter, faster, and stronger than money. In this one, he talks about that Bitcoin, the reason why he's saying this is because he believes that Bitcoin is the fiat apex predator. It is the strongest opposition or the strongest predator to the fiat system and the traditional financial system, because when we understand the underlying technology and the philosophy and the characteristics of Bitcoin versus fiat paper money, which is pretty much backed by nothing except debt, you know, we start to see that Bitcoin is a fairer, sustainable system that can and will serve humanity like no other currency that we've ever seen in the history of mankind. Over to you, Michael.
Yeah, awesome. So one from Peter Schiff, good old Peter Schiff. So he is right about some things, just not about crypto. Another way to put it is that the Fed flooded the system with inflation. So the higher consumer prices that we're paying now and will continue to pay in the future represent the cost of the stimulus the Fed provided in the past. I do agree with this. Money printing has led to inflation, and basically inflation is theft, guys. It's stealing wealth from the everyday investor if you're not really aware of how the system is designed to work for the elite. And it is very important to hedge against this, and scarce assets have proven very effective in the past. So previously it was gold, and Bitcoin is seen as a new scarce asset of the digital age, I guess. And look, guys, if you aren't doing anything with your money, you're leaving it in your bank account or under your bed or something like that, I mean, you're losing 10 to 15% annually to inflation. So after 4 years, half of your wealth is gone. So it's very, very important to educate yourself on what to do with your money, which is obviously something that we can help a little bit about. The next tweet is Lark Davis. Every crypto investor makes mistakes. The good ones learn from them. The bad ones repeat them. Oh boy, have I been through this over my crypto career. So investing, like any discipline, guys, takes time, patience, education, and experience. Unfortunately, what I see is most investors get drawn in through the bull market. They end up investing thinking they're a genius and making a lot of key mistakes. I know because I was one of those in 2017. And so the ones that end up being successful, they learn and they educate themselves for the next cycle. I've experienced all those highs and lows and found that my success has come from education. It's come from the right strategies, the right mindset, and the right technology tools. Okay, so you need the right information to make decisions, the right technology to automate them and execute them, and the right mindset to build the conviction needed so you don't sabotage your results. So we're going to talk about an exciting event coming up on how we can help you guys achieve that as well. Moving on to the adoption highlights. So that will be me still. cracking along. So in Brazil, one of the largest real estate developers now accepts Bitcoin. So they're called Gafisa, is now accepting Bitcoin. And they've also partnered with a cryptocurrency gateway provider known as Foxbit. And look, Bitcoin is going to improve, and blockchain in general, improve real estate transactions, making it a lot quicker, and especially around the final settlement of transactions, lower fees, and removing intermediaries. So I talk about it in my presentation. You haven't seen it, guys. It's inevitable that any form of transaction is going to move to the blockchain eventually, due to its transparency, its security, and ease of use. At least the ease of use is improving a lot of these applications. There's still a lot of evolution to go, but some of these organizations and initiatives are getting on earlier than others, and they're ultimately going to reap massive benefits. So in real estate, it's going to result in more of the piece of the pie being available to the sellers, so they'll get more money and potentially cheaper prices for buyers. So I definitely think that's a great application of blockchain technology. This is an interesting one as well. PayPal is looking to integrate all possible crypto and blockchain services. So they are a global payment giant, and they're doing the best to bring all of their blockchain cryptocurrency integrations to its services, according to a senior executive at the firm. So they're just trying to maintain themselves as a leader of global payments, and they're really in a great position. They've got such a large user base that if they do positively adopt crypto and get it into their application infrastructure, they could really get a stranglehold over the industry. So it's good to see that they are moving. Whether they pull it off or not is another story. Quickly on this one, Stripe is another one of the big payment gateways, guys. We use this for application. A lot of online applications use this. So they've now enabled millions of merchants to convert payments into Bitcoin. So it's they've partnered with, or there's an app on it called OpenNode. So it will allow you to convert your payments directly into Bitcoin instantly and almost cost neutral by using the Bitcoin Lightning Network, which is the layer 2 solution. And Stripe's also launched concurrently a launch of their app marketplace. So this is super exciting. You can actually build apps on top of Stripe's payment gateway now. So very exciting that they are evolving in the space. Now, just understand, doesn't allow buyers to pay for stuff using crypto. It only allows the merchants to transfer what they receive into Bitcoin. So it's certainly bullish, but definitely needs the capability to expand so that people can pay using crypto. It's actually one of our partner platforms that is building out a solution at the moment that has buy now, pay later, where you can use crypto. So I think that's going to be a lot more innovative.
Thank you, Michael. Over to Africa, and Central African Republic is going to launch a Bitcoin investment platform. Now, the Central African Republic was the first African country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, the second in the world after El Salvador. So what we're starting to see is the dominoes are starting to fall, and more countries are and will be adopting Bitcoin as legal tender and a way to break away from the traditional financial system. In fact, the president of the Central African Republic, and I hope I get his name right, Faustin Archange, said in a statement that the formal economy is no longer an option. An impenetrable bureaucracy is keeping us stuck in a system that do not give us a chance to be competitive. This is the main reason why a lot of these developing countries are starting to look at blockchain and Bitcoin as legal tender and its alternate ways for their countries to get ahead. Now, think about the Central African Republic is a gold and diamond mining country, yet they are still stricken with poverty and still stricken with a lot of internal conflict. Now, what these countries are starting to see is now if they break away from the traditional financial system, build something for themselves and for their people, they're going to be able to get ahead. And we've seen that as we've seen the past 8 months with El Salvador, and I'm very, very excited to see what will be coming from the Central African Republic. They are also going to be making a Bitcoin island, which is very exciting. The next one we're going to look at is US Senator Ted Cruz says, I want Texas to be the oasis on the planet for Bitcoin and crypto. This is very, very bullish news, because right now in America, we have two states. We have Miami and Texas, both of them, competing and racing against each other to become the United States crypto capital. Now, that is very, very bullish news because obviously the United States is a major player around the world. And to start to see that, he even goes on to speak about CBDCs, which is central bank digital currencies. And he talks about China's recent crackdown on crypto, saying that they don't like something they can't control. This is the exact same reason that most Democrats don't like Bitcoin. Why does Bitcoin make Elizabeth Warren toss and turn and twitch at night? Because she wants her sticky little socialist fingers to be able to control every penny in every one of our bank accounts. Now, in today's educational section at the end, we are going to look at what is CBDCs and what is CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, versus cryptocurrencies, and look at them side by side. So stick around for that to get an understanding why he said this. Over to you, Michael.
Yeah, awesome. And guys, we're bringing in Matt, the crypto oracle here for the market analysis segment. So how you going, Matty?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. So I'm bringing your screen and off you go, mate.
Awesome. So Bitcoin is still in this sideways, consolidation. What we saw overnight was a liquidity grab where we broke down below the support that we had tested previously 4 times. Now, normally what occurs here is you'll see retail investors see that we broke support, flood the market with shorts, and this gives the whales the opportunity to buy all that liquidity and then push the price up. I mentioned multiple times, I do believe that Bitcoin is going to go into the low 30s before it breaks the all-time local low here of 25.2. And what we can see here on XO charts, which is just an application that shows liquidity per candle. In that dump last night, we had around about $50 million worth of shorts open up as we broke down, and that got bought up really quickly with about $80 to $90 million worth of longs opening up, which is awesome to see. Moving on, we're on to Bitcoin dominance here. So Bitcoin is outperforming most alts. And if you have been in crypto for a while, you should know, or hopefully you know, that you should be trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. Now, what this chart shows that if you are staying in altcoins, you're bleeding profits against trying to accumulate more Bitcoin. So this basically means that if your end game is what it should be, which is accumulate more Bitcoin, then really you should be trying to transfer these altcoins into Bitcoin. But not financial advice. Do whatever you would like to do with your money. But personally, what I did when I saw that we had bottom here back in May was transfer most of the remaining altcoin bags that I did have into Bitcoin, so I'm not losing my Bitcoin, hodl bag against my alts. Moving on to the S&P, this bullish divergence did play out, and we've seen 7% recovery in the market. I do think that we're still going to push towards about that 4150 mark for the S&P, which should see a rally with Bitcoin as well, and then possibly roll over. I do think the markets are just having a bit of a dead cat bounce right now. We've had 8 weeks of red candles, which is something we've never seen before in Bitcoin. So I think we are in for a bit of a relief rally, but I don't think that the bear market is over just yet. Now, inflation rates are coming up when the Fed does meet again on June 10th. If rates do move up again, which is what it's expected, at least 50 to 75 basis points, that could be the catalyst for the sell-off to occur. So mark on your calendars June 10th for a possible reversal with this dead cat bounce. Over to the Fear and Greed Index, we have climbed up from 11 to 12, but this chart clearly shows that we are in a good buying opportunity. You can see that we are represented with these orange dots. It's always been close to the market bottom. So if you look back in history, we can see that buying in the orange has always been a great time to buy, and then you can obviously sell in the green, which would be in the profit. So right now is a great time to DCA. However, I do think more selling is going to occur into the low 20s. So I have plenty of buy orders set for down there. Okay, and we're looking at the BTC supply distribution. I know this chart looks a little crazy, but I want you just to focus on these 5 lines up here, which is a lot of the smaller wallets from 0 to 10 coins. They've been accumulating ever since we kind of have when we sort of broke down from that $48,000 marker, we got rejected from the 200-day moving average. So we can see retail started accumulating very slowly, but this purple line down here, these are the large whale wallets holding between 1,000 to 10,000 coins. And you can see that these guys are in distribution. So they're still selling their bags. This is the guys that you want to really be focusing on if you're using on-chain metrics. Once we start seeing this line go up, that's probably a good time to start accumulating as well, because we know that these guys basically run the market, and whatever they do, that's going to sort of shift the price in the direction of their own line right here. Lastly, we can see that stablecoin on exchanges is slightly dropped, obviously, because we had a lot of buying over the last 2 weeks because people feel we're very close to a bottom. So what we'll see on this chart is a slow decline as price gets better. Most stable coins will get transferred back into BTC and other altcoins, and we basically will recommence the next bull run with this line sort of trending down. That's it from me, guys. Over back to you, Michael.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Manny. Good content there, mates. So Breakout Solutions updates. We'll assume you're going to open with one.
Yeah, so our update is around our upcoming event on the 6th of the 6th. So keep an eye out on that. We're doing an event for people around how to be able to maximize your
newsletter, brother. Newsletter.
And oh yes, the newsletter. I forgot about the newsletter. So for those of you on the Decrypting Crypto platform, we are starting our newsletter today. So keep an eye on that. If you're not on a Decrypting Crypto platform at the moment, make sure you jump on decryptingcrypto.com and sign up for it. It's absolutely free. You get a free introductory course. You also get access to, and you get our live stream sent to you in your email, as well as a weekly newsletter and a podcast that's coming up.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
event.
Yeah, I'll touch on the event, guys. So the events on the public launch we're doing of this event is actually on the 16th of the 6th. So the link's in the chat there. And guys, this event is all about, I guess, the secrets and the strategies, tools, everything that we've accumulated over the last 5 years, particularly the stuff that I've used to 20x my portfolio and earn a lot of passive income daily. This is all the stuff we're going to teach. So first thing is about knowledge, like understanding how you can leverage digital assets to achieve wealth like the super rich do. We're going to break that down for you. Building the bulletproof mindset that's required to maintain your conviction and as you start to grow your portfolio. How do you actually grow your digital asset portfolio? The different research that you need, how to choose the right altcoins, how to maximize that growth, and then how to leverage that, like how to get yield from that to then reinvest that back in. That's really where the secret is, and probably the most underestimated strategy is how to actually protect your gains. So we're going to cover all of this. It's going to be a super valuable event, guys. So definitely don't want to miss that one. Links on the screen there. And yeah, get on it, and we will see you at the event. Moving on, I think I'll move to the Altcoin Corner now. So I'll cover that. So this week, I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the darlings of the DeFi space, guys, which is called Aave, AAVE. For those who are in the space will know it. Those who aren't probably will be like, what's that? So it is one of the decentralized finance protocols that allows people to lend and borrow in the space. It's been around for quite a while, since 2017, actually started under the name of ETHLend, and then actually rebranded. So effectively allows lenders to earn interest by depositing digital assets into specially created liquidity pools, and borrowers can then use their crypto as collateral to take out flash loans using this liquidity. So it's probably not for the average person to take out a loan, but a lot of the technical traders, the arbitrage and things like that will use these DeFi platforms. And as a holder, you actually get discounted fees on the platform, and also serves as a governance token for voting and whatnot. So it gives owners a say in the future of the protocol, which is what a lot of the DeFi and other decentralized protocols allow you to do. It is a decentralized and trustless cryptocurrency lending and borrowing platform. So there's no middleman, there's no one taking cuts in the middle. So yeah, so it's definitely one of the bigger players in the space. If I just briefly had a chart up here that I was just going to show you guys briefly. In terms of charting, I mean, Aave is down something like 85% since the high. It's a good project with a good team. I definitely think that we're going to see that one go up again. It's obviously not financial advice, but you know, these are the times when most people are too scared to invest into projects, and understandably, like some of these projects will not recover. So you definitely need to know which projects to invest into. And look, you know, I think there's a high chance Aave is going to rebound, but you know, what we do is we provide a lot of this research to our members. I'm reading off a whole multi-page report here, and then they can actually make the decisions themselves. So So that's Aave. And look, to finish up, we're going to throw back to Wasim for some financial education.
Thank you, Michael. So, as I mentioned before, with the Ted Cruz article around CDBCs, we're going to have a look today around. We're going to compare what CDBCs are, central bank digital currencies, versus cryptocurrencies, and look at the pros and cons. So, first of all, what we've got to understand is a central bank digital currency is a closed system. As the name suggests, it's controlled by the central bank. So it can be used as a tool for slavery, unfortunately. It's controlled by governments. So everything that happens in those transactions are reported back to governments. It's limited, so governments can limit access to has control over it, as we've seen recently with the war in Europe. Sanctions have affected both those involved and those that are not involved. They're just guilty by association. So a lot of the Russian millionaires and billionaires have some of their assets frozen purely because of their affiliation with the country that they're in. A lot of companies stopped any type of services for Russia. All of this is causing people around the world to say, well, hang on. And also, what happened with the truckers in Canada, people saying, well, hang on, how much control do governments have? So we need to understand that a central bank digital currency and what the characteristics are. If the central bank releases a currency like they have in China, for example, with digital yuan, we've got to understand that the underlying philosophy under it and the whole idea of the banks having all that control is going to be able to give governments and banks the ability to freeze any person's central bank digital currency. They're going to be able to limit how much people can hold. They're going to be able to set expiry. So if you've got, say, $1,000 of CDBC and you haven't spent it and that's got an expiry on it, on that day it evaporates. So, you lose your money. They can set locations where you can spend it. So you can be restricted because of whatever reason that the government decides of where you can spend that money. You can spend in certain places, certain countries, etc. They can set limits on how much you can spend, so they can control how much you buy, how much how much money you spend. They can even limit what you buy, not just how much you buy, but what you buy. So certain products that may not be government approved, you will not be able to buy those with these central bank digital currencies. They can take tax on it instantly on every transaction. They can flag and block any person's CDBC. So if there's someone who the government has identified as an enemy of the state because of a belief or a view that they may have, the government can block and freeze all their assets and stop them from being able to use it. They can even have different characteristics and different parameters for different people, and it can implement negative interest rates, which stops people from saving. So overall, CDBCs can be and are very, very dangerous and can be used as a tool for slavery. Now, when we look at cryptocurrencies and the ethos of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies, they are all built around decentralization, which means there's no central entity that actually controls the code. It's decentralized, meaning it's all around the world. People with all different views, all different beliefs, all different values can hold these nodes and support the network. So for all these people to agree on a particular thing, it's going to be pretty hard. So it makes it very hard to be able to attack the network. And Bitcoin is one of the safest and most secure payment systems in the world. So that's number one. It's not controlled by anyone. There's no permission to use it. Anybody can jump on and use it. It's a public blockchain, which means that it's open source. Everything is open. There's nothing closed. All the transactions are open, which also some people think makes it anonymous, but it's actually not anonymous. It's synonymous. And what that pseudonymous, I should say, and what that means is it's a combination of being, with enough digging, if the government needs or if any law authority needs to be able to dig if somebody is doing some illegal activity, they can actually find out who's using different chains and different wallets, depending on what they're transacting with. Especially if you've got a like, for example, an exchange account and you send money to a decentralized wallet, then those transactions are easily seen and they can link that decentralized wallet back to the person who owns the exchange account, which we all know is KYC, which means your customer fully identified. a lot of the cryptocurrencies, especially like Bitcoin, have a limited supply, which means only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be available. They can never make any more of that. That increases obviously the scarcity. You store your own cryptocurrency in your own wallet, so self-custody. You're in control of it. Nobody can confiscate it. If you've learned your 12-word seed phrase and that's in your head, there's absolutely no way for anyone to extract it. You become self-sovereign, and it incentivizes savings because of the price appreciation. So overall, my opinion is CDBCs probably will not succeed, and the reason for that is people are becoming more and more aware of the threat of CDBCs. There's a lot of influencers like us talking to people, educating people about it. Some government officials, like we saw Ted Cruz, is talking against it. And also there's more incentive for developers to work in cryptocurrencies where the profit upside is almost unlimited, compared that if you work for a government as a developer to develop a CDBC, you're probably limited to a 6-figure income, if that, and you'll be seen as an enemy of freedom. So this is my opinion why CDBC won't work, and hopefully we won't see any of those coming to our countries. Over to you, Michael.
Mate, I wish I had that much conviction they wouldn't succeed. I've been talking about it for over 12 months that the darkness that I see in this space is that the CDBCs are going to come fast enough that they're going to capture a lot of the public that's not aware of cryptocurrencies. And they're going to offer free money. They're going to get people to convert across, especially when the effects of inflation gets more rampant. People are going to be desperate for money. So it's definitely a bit of a race at the moment for, how many people the cryptocurrency world can educate on the benefits of cryptocurrencies to get people in there before these CDBCs come out. Because I do think they're going to capture a lot of market share with all the fear they spread around, cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So we keep an eye on the space. I think medium to long term, people will see the light. Hopefully. So we just got to keep sharing the knowledge that we're sharing, mate, and hope that people get hold of that at the right times for them.
I totally agree, Michael, and this is why we do what we do, to educate people. And look, nothing is set in stone yet. They could come, they could not come. The more we educate people, the more we get, government officials and people in power, people in influence, educating people about the power of cryptocurrencies and the benefits that cryptocurrencies can do for the world and humanity in general. Hopefully we can avoid it. Obviously, my opinion is my opinion, and hopefully I'm right, and hopefully, it doesn't come.
Yeah, well, we've got to have the belief, mate. Otherwise, we won't be able to do what we do. So, guys, finishing up, please follow us on socials, share this far and wide, help us get this message out. It would mean a lot. So we're on Facebook, YouTube, and also jump on the website and grab the free package. That'll be it for this week. So thanks for tuning in, all the people that are watching the replay. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Peace out.